We begin the second half of the season embroiled in one of the most enthralling and possibly closest title races in recent history. Three teams, Reykjavik, Unio Sao Paulo, and Hollywood, all tied for first place on 21 points each after the first half of the season. And three teams lagging just behind, Tokyo, Buenos Aires, and SFV, still in striking distance. It is going to be a very enthralling run-in, and we cannot wait to have you with us. Hello, everyone. This is Metafiction, and we've got some fantastic matches for you today, including two of those title leaders at the moment, Reykjavik and Hollywood, squaring off a little bit later on today. That should be a very important one for final standings. Unio Sao Paulo, the third member of that triumvirate, will be facing AC Romana, who have had themselves a little bit of a rough season thus far. It really is one of the most exciting campaigns thus far, at least in my memory, since I've been in the league. Certainly some of the old heads, some of the old guard, rather, will be able to remember if there was a more exciting, closer perhaps, title run-in, but certainly perhaps not with as many teams as this one. That'll all be dealt with later, though. For the moment, we travel to Shanghai, China, where the Shanghai Dragons will kick us off today against Buenos Aires. Shanghai dwelling near the foot of the table, or in fact at the foot of the table, as you can see there in that table there. While Buenos Aires, one of the teams that I mentioned just a moment ago, still in striking distance, will be looking to pick up points against a very, what they will consider at least, a very beatable opponent. Certainly, though, Shanghai will be in a mood to spoil that plan, frankly. As Hohenhan takes the touch through midfield and is brought down by Neslian Genkal. It's a throw-in for Harrison for Buenos Aires. Manis. And in the box, the shot there, tipped just wide by Takechi. It'll be Leo Fiacre to take this corner kick for Buenos Aires. Sent near post and headed away deftly by Johnson there. Ruben takes the touch, tries to cross in, but Johnson again with the tackle, forcing another corner kick. Some very good corner defense there by Johnson. Fiacre tries again, and that one's headed just wide. I believe that was Louis Duck, who just missed past the post. So Buenos Aires, perhaps expectedly with the early chance, but now Shanghai with a corner of their own at the other end. It's Billy Bob who sends it near post, looking for Hohenhan, but can't quite get it on target. Johnson takes the shot, it clatters into the Buenos Aires defenders and is headed clear. Del Vecchio with a deep throw now for Shanghai. Puts the cross in, floated in. Kabiri able to claim that away from Ford, who looked like had the beating of Ruben there. Munoz with the forward pass. McManus sends it on. Snooks now carrying it forward. Through ball. It's O'Leary in a dangerous position. Del Vecchio with a challenge, but it's not enough to prevent the ball from going into Sterling Scott and making it 1-0 to Buenos Aires. The move developed fairly well with a series of vertical passes. O'Leary ultimately just able to tuck it around Del Vecchio and back into the center. And Sterling Scott from that distance, it would be harder for him to miss than score. But score he did. Fiacre now putting the free kick in, far post, and O'Leary just whistles past the post again for Buenos Aires. Very nearly doubling their tally. Fiacre winning the ball high up the pitch, and Scott has a go from well outside. Buenos Aires continuing the pressure as McManus takes the throw in. Snooks takes the touch and had a shot, but it was blocked by the Shanghai defender. Ball now falls to Billy Bob for the Dragons. A couple of passes ends up to Hohenhan, but Hohenhan was offside. Had lost the ball anyway, so a bit of a moot point, but nevertheless, offside is the call. And now it's another corner kick to Buenos Aires. Fiacre. Johnson again with the defense. Voda sending it all the way clear, and now it's Aaron Ford. Ultimately sending it back, but that's a very disastrous pass. Sterling Scott nipping it off the foot of Takechi, and Takechi can't track back in time. I'm not sure who was at fault there, the defense perhaps from being out of position, or Takechi for coming so far out, but Scott absolutely pouncing on that mistake. Takechi does everything they can to dive for it, but just can't get to it. Sterling Scott, with 2 goals on the day, makes it 2-0 Buenos Aires. So at halftime, Sterling Scott, the man of the hour for Buenos Aires, a brace so far, proving the difference against Shanghai. 2-0 the score at the half. Shanghai having only 1 shot on target so far in that first half. It's especially intriguing when you look there. I don't know if you saw it, but there in the bottom left, the average positions, it looked as though Buenos Aires were just a bit more vertically compact, perhaps spread out a little bit more, a bit more of a cavern in midfield, but surprisingly, having so many chances despite perhaps not being as advanced as Shanghai. Certainly some tactical wizardry at work there. It's Hutchinson coming on for Shanghai in favor of De Soto as we kick off this second half. Buenos Aires immediately losing the ball to Tony Del Vecchio. Del Vecchio tripped up by Snooks, and it will be a free kick. Billy Bob will take. Certainly a sturdy spine up the middle Buenos Aires have. Of course, Scott and O'Leary. McManus as well, you saw there, having a good game as Fiacre passes that forward. It's worked into the box, but Harrison sends it wide. Certainly that midfield of McManus and Fiacre putting in a lot of work today as Snooks puts in the cross, far post, headed in. Scott on a hat trick, tried to head it past Takechi, but this time the goalkeeper able to stop it. Shanghai with a corner of their own, looking to try and get something back from this as Bob sends it near post into the masses, finds its way back out to Bob. Trick Johnson, and back to the other Johnson, and that one goes just wide. As far as I know, the Johnsons are not related, but I could be entirely wrong on that, so apologies if that's the case. Fiacre forced back, ultimately finds an outlet in Munoz. Ball now trying to work forward again. Duck finding Ruben out on the far wing. Has been called forward, who is passed to. And called trying to cut in for O'Leary, but Hutchinson able to stop it. Ruben, then called back to Ruben, and now Duck from deep. Making a run, trying to get around Bob, ultimately passing inside. Shanghai looking to counter in the middle and do, in fact, intercept that pass. And now Hohenhan on the break. Fiacre tracking back well, but can't stop Hohenhan from pulling one back. A phenomenal run on the counter by Shanghai. And Hohenhan with a perfectly timed run to get into space. Credit to Fiacre, who recovers well, but unfortunately just takes that deflection and it gets past Kabiri. Fiacre's own industriousness coming back to haunt Buenos Aires there, inadvertently. It's now 2-1 in Shanghai in a threatening position. Falls to Voda. Voda takes the shot, and what a save there by Kabiri. Shanghai not going away in this one despite being 2 goals down at the half. Billy Bob sends the corner in, headed up into the air. Hutchinson doesn't get enough velocity behind it. Only 20 minutes to play. Shanghai still need an equalizer. Have had their best passage of play so far, but Buenos Aires coming forward, and it's a through ball to McManus, and McManus just can't beat Takechi. Just inches wide. Ruben. Again, call back to McManus. And again, McManus into the box, takes the shot, and that's over. McManus perhaps looking for that goal to ice this one, try and prevent a Shanghai comeback. Equally though, Voda with that pass, a bit of an odd moment there. Habjanic didn't seem to notice the pass had come through. Ultimately, Ford's pass forward caught by Kabiri. Ruben. Ginkal sends it back. Buenos Aires cannot afford to get reckless at this stage, even with the lead. And perhaps they know that, sending it back to Kabiri. As I said at the top of this broadcast, Buenos Aires could really use the points to stay in touch with the title pack as O'Leary, close range to Takechi, but it's parried into the path of Sterling Scott, and that is Sterling Scott's hat trick. Well, it's a bit of a heartbreaker if you're Shanghai. O'Leary getting the dangerous pass, a good save for Takechi, but Scott there to once again prey on the mistakes of Shanghai's back line. And almost a brilliant free kick there by Billy Bob, but an equally impressive save from Kabiri there to prevent it. Time winding down. Buenos Aires with the 2-goal lead. Seem likely to carry the 3 points from this one as Fiacra sends that free kick in and very nearly tucking into that top corner. And once again, Takechi able to parry it behind. In the ensuing corner, it's Ruben who sends the ball into the stands. Fiacra sending it just wide from the free kick. Buenos Aires, despite being 2 goals up, know this is still a dangerous lead. They're pushing for perhaps one more insurance goal. And the through ball, trying to find Hohenhan. It was a bit of a pinball at the back, but it does fall to the feet of Hohenhan. And with 3 minutes of added time to play, something incredible could just happen. There's some very sloppy passing at the back. Harrison to Munoz trying to find Duck, but Hohenhan lurking. Absolutely buries it. But unfortunately for Shanghai, it might not be enough. This is their last chance, perhaps, off of this corner kick. Billy Bob to take. It's near post, and it's headed just over. And that is full time. Shanghai can't quite complete the comeback, despite a heroic effort after coming back from 2 goals down to try and even the odds. They just fall a little bit short today. Buenos Aires picking up the win through the hat trick by Sterling Scott. An excellent performance from Buenos Aires all around. A brace from Thomas Hohenhan for Shanghai, making it respectable, but ultimately not able to equal the player of the match, who is Sterling Scott. Credit also to an assist from Sean O'Leary. But overall, an incredible display of heads-up football from Sterling Scott. And so that's an important 3 points in this title race for Buenos Aires. Time will tell how close they can run this title challenge. Certainly a lot of teams in the running. It's a crowded field. But a win today will do a lot of good in helping them push through their competitors a little bit. It puts them on 17 points, just 4 points behind Sao Paulo and these two teams, Reykjavik United and Hollywood FC, two of the title contenders facing off. Reykjavik, it's a familiar position at or near the top of the table, but Hollywood, after so many seasons of wondering when they were going to be able to put everything together, it looks like they finally found that winning formula, and they are now making a serious title push. This match will perhaps prove vital for both teams in that continued title challenge. Sao Paulo, of course, will be watching this match with great interest. Forward to Shaheen, but Hefeweizen able to knock that away. Hollywood, of course, having won several league titles of their own, though Reykjavik, the more recent contenders, as Urkel with the through ball breaks away, but Hefeweizen again able to get the foot in. That move developed very quickly. Reykjavik nearly scoring the first blood on the break. And the corner kick ends up in a throw-in. Del Pirlo. One ball up from Tortellini, but it's ultimately rebuffed, at least for the moment. Kruskin. Now into Jean Girard. And Mourinho, with the loose touch, loses out to Mograine. Hefeweizen sending out wide to Hunt. Now Tortellini. It's inside through ball to Gerd Klose, and a kick save from Wall. Jalen Brooks to deliver the corner for Hollywood, finding Martel at the edge of the area. Tortellini has a go, but it's blocked off of Neymarinho. Hollywood still trying as that shot, Hunt, deflected away. Both teams with really dangerous chances in the early going. Del Pirlo's pass intercepted by Mograine and now hit up the line for Brooks. Possible danger brewing here, courtesy of Hollywood as Mograine cuts it back inside. Brooks inside the box. On the left foot, shoots, and it's in! And this would be a famous victory if Hollywood could pull it off. Still early doors, but an excellent goal taken. Brooks dribbling through the box, trying to find space, and eventually does find it. Looks like it caroms off of Urkel into the net. But as I'm so fond of saying, they all count the same in the SSL. It is 1-0 to Hollywood over Reykjavik. So it's Hollywood who strike first in this potential title clash. I can only imagine both teams having this one circled on their calendars from the start as Neymarinho takes it to the end line, hits the cross back for Tentacles. And what a strike that was. It was deflected over. It looked like it took a bit of a curve from the pass in and then was hit on the volley. That would have been something else. Tentacles into Girard, who has a go, and that one's well over. Hollywood forward again, Mograine. Martel. Trying to touch it past the Hollywood defense. Headed up into the box by Martel, and it's in for Brickwall Jr. Long ball lands with Ali Dia. Dangerous pass back, nearly catching Del Pirlo, who seems to have picked up a knock. So I have to see how that affects Reykjavik going forward. In the meantime, Brooks losing out from the daring challenge of Neymarinho. Ball over the top for Rashford. Rashford fires into the net. And that will stand. It is 1-1. There might have been a question of offside. We'll have to look again at the replay, but watch toward the upper center of your screen. It looked as though Rashford might have been just a hair offside, but the referee said play on. And Rashford doing Rashford things, absolutely burying that shot. Here are the lines again. Well, that angle isn't exactly the most helpful, but there you can see just for a moment, Rashford is indeed onside. So the goal will stand 1-1 as we near halftime. Hunt sending it back to Walrison. Question now becomes whether to push for a goal before the half or to just pack it up and wait for the whistle. Hollywood going with the former option as Klose. Shot deflected off of Pruskin. Klose was offside anyway. And so at the half, it is all square here at Lake Valerin. Reykjavik won, Hollywood won. Hollywood opening the scoring through Jalen Brooks, but we just saw there Miko Rashford II with a great strike and a great run to level the score. Certainly Sao Paulo will be rooting for a draw, as that gives them an opportunity to take advantage and really get some daylight between these two teams. Again, with so many teams in the title picture at this stage of the season, pretty much every match matters. It's going to be absolutely fascinating to see who ends up at the top of the heap when all is said and done, as Rashford nips back and breaks up that pass, but ultimately can't do anything about it. Hollywood retained possession. Until that moment, at least, as Del Pirlo trying to send it forward, but Neymarinho can't quite get onto it. Certainly storylines abound for each of these teams. Reykjavik would make it 3 wins in a row. Sao Paulo, after having come so close the last 2 seasons, have the chance to make it 3rd time's the charm. And of course, Hollywood, who had been one of the powers of the league, have been dormant for a while, as Neymarinho's shot goes wide at the opposite post. And Hollywood, who had been one of the main powers in the league for some time, were dormant for quite a while, but have now once again roared into life. And of course, as I said, the other teams in that title race, Tokyo, Buenos Aires, Schwarzwalder, all could still weigh in before all is said and done. Just in the meantime, on the pitch, ball won away by Mulgrane, and now Hollywood trying to come on the counter-attack. Martel loses out from a great challenge by Gaisberg, and now it's Reykjavik who are on the break. Shaheen taking the run, gets to the end line. Hefeweizen with a risky challenge, and the referee has given a penalty. The ref is going to the monitor. Hefeweizen with the sliding challenge in the box to prevent what could have been a goal. The referee comes back from the monitor, and no penalty is given. The challenge was clean, says the referee. And now Brooks at the other end with a corner kick. How important will that VAR decision be in the grand scheme of things? Ball finds its way all the way out to Shaheen. Some quick passing finds it to Gaisberg. Now tentacles up the near wing. McGrain taking advantage of a loose touch there. Evavizen sends it back. Cormier now. And Hunt losing out to Rashford, and now the quick break on for Reykjavik. Cross goes in from Rashford, headed off the post there. I believe that was Del Pirlo, who came within inches of putting Reykjavik in the lead. Now the ball's in, Gaisberg can't hold on to it. Headed down, Urkel to Rashford from close range. Well, they'd been knocking on the door for a while, and now they've burst it down. Reykjavik in the lead in the second half. It's a well-worked series of passes, the kind that Reykjavik are so renowned for. And Reykjavik with a 2-1 lead in the second half, but it's a free kick from Hollywood, and that one's headed over. And Mourinho trying to square it to Shaheen, and it's deflected behind for another corner kick. Of course, a loss here, not disastrous for Hollywood, but it does cede Reykjavik a huge advantage in this title race. That shot goes over the bar from Tentacles. Hollywood now with the corner, 15 minutes to play. Brooks sends it in near post, and it's headed into the air, back out to Brooks. Berlini takes the shot, and it's tipped wide by Wall Jr. Another corner to be taken by Brooks. Near post, and it's headed around in the box, finds its way back out to Dia. Now Hunt has a go from range, and Wall has to really stretch to stop that one from going in. Hollywood have 10 minutes to find an equalizer and potentially a winner. Hunt to Dia. Pendulum seems to have swung here as Dia passes to Hunt. Takes it into the box and finishes opposite post. Evan Hunt levels it up for Hollywood. And with 10 minutes to play, that throws this match back onto a razor edge. It's a very tight angle, but Hunt able to just finesse it past the keeper, past the defense, into the net. Well, it's emblematic of the season as a whole, as that shot from Shaheen. And that will go wide. It is indeed a microcosm of this title race. These two teams, along with Sao Paulo, just can't be separated. And that long pass in by Mourinho would have been brilliant, but nobody was on the end of it. Just a bit of added time left. Del Pirlo takes the shot into the wall from the free kick, and that just skids into the hands of Duncan Walrison. And that might be the last moment of note in this match, as we have now exceeded the 3 minutes of added time. Although McGrain taking the shot, and that is the final whistle. Well, it was a very back and forth game, but in the end, a draw, just about the fairest result possible. Reykjavik and Hollywood will share the spoils, a point each, after finishing 2-2. Miko Rashford with a brace for Reykjavik, the player of the match. A strong performance from Rashford. Of course, a very comprehensive performance team-wise from Hollywood as well. Brooks and Hunt, the goal scorers for the outfit from Southern California. And so, honors even at Lake Valoran. How will that affect the title race? The only team that really benefits from that is União Sao Paulo, who now have a chance to pull themselves into the lead on the table if they can just take care of business against AC Romana. It's going to be a very, very exciting run-in if that match is anything to go by, and it usually is. But for the moment, it's Tokyo where we go to take on Tenochtitlan. That made no sense. I apologize. Tokyo will take on Tenochtitlan as the second half of the season begins to unfold. Certainly both these teams would like to be a little higher up in the pecking order than they currently are. Tokyo are still within touching distance of that title pack, but will need to perform in matches like this. Meanwhile, Tenochtitlan, perhaps smelling blood, will like to try and find a way to muscle themselves up the table with a good showing here today in the Nintendo. Greer. And Yun's touch just a little heavy. Eilish. I apologize for the odd kit clash. It's pink for Tokyo and yellow and green for Tenochtitlan. It can be a little hard to tell apart, perhaps, at least on my screen. Greer will take this corner kick for Tokyo. Greer taking the touch, sends it back. Now Chambers finding Eilish. Other side, it's Ron Flex, that large frame that can't quite hold on to the ball. Kaido, the former Tokyo player, nicking the ball off of Lee. And now it's in Guarmaros. Ball falls, and it's a shot, and it's a goal for Sam Volta if VAR allows it. And it will stand. It's a well-worked ball. Shinji Kaido still has it, clearly. Armaros sends it back to Elliott. Chambers tried to get in the way, but Volta beating Greer to the ball and just putting it past the keeper. And so it is 1-0 to Tenochtitlan. And Greer's pass right into the chest of Pinkman. And Adamo nicking it right back from Volta. That's a through ball. Ibrahimovic takes the touch and fires an uncharacteristically tame shot right at the keeper ball. Volta with the free kick, takes the shot, and Reves able to get over and push it away. And taking in the rebound shot as well. Ron Flex. Now Eilish, back to Ron Flex. Such a difference in extremes of player sizes on the pitch here as Super Hoops puts that cross in. Can't quite find a friendly player. Eilish trying again from deep. Headed off the bar off the post by Ibrahimovic. But Ibrahimovic was offside anyway. Mamba carries the ball forward. Tut with the pass into Volta, looking for a second, but that one tipped over. Now Volta again, near post. This one headed up into the air, whereas Strangine. Elliott trying to get it under control. Now Pinkman. Volta. Tenochtitlan with sustained pressure here. Elliott. Slowly forced back, but do nearly find a way in. Volta couldn't bring that under control, but surely would have been through on goal if they had. And once again, Tenochtitlan continuing to pressure Tokyo in the final third. Armaros. Quick passes and finds Deali. Now here's Pinkman. Greer into challenge. Pinkman making Greer look very foolish there. Cuts it back. And Elliott with a great chance there. And a long shot from Armaros puts an end to that move. What a move that was by Pinkman to get around Greer. Elliott at the end line. Deali had the shot. It was pushed away by Reves, and it's another corner for Tenochtitlan. Greer Strongine forward to Pinkman, but this time Adamu able to stop it, and Pinkman was offside. Well, it's been a great performance overall from Tenochtitlan, who are well in the lead and deservedly so. Tokyo just not at the races in that first half. Despite that, they've had a relatively similar number of shots, but Tenochtitlan seriously taking the better chances so far. How can Tokyo find their way back in this second half? And can Tenochtitlan hold on to this lead? 45 minutes will give us the answer. Again, a loss here, not the end of the world for Tokyo's title chances, but would put them in serious jeopardy at the very least. It's Ramos and Denstro on for Ronflex and Yun, and Roberts and Machado on for Kaido and Deali for Tokyo and Tenochtitlan, respectively. Tokyo will be hoping a little bit of a change of pace. Will get them where they need to be. Meanwhile, Tenochtitlan trying to sub in some fresh legs for their more veteran players. And that's a long shot there. I believe that was Joe Mamba, but that's well over. Greer now with a corner kick for Tokyo. Finding, I believe that was Eklund Gunnarsson at the near post, but couldn't quite get the finish on target. Greer will try again from the other side. One's headed up in the air. Chambers heads it down. Denstro back out to Greer. Greer again takes the shot into the box, and that one's shot right at Calvin Ball. And Anthony Lee ruled offside, and so the ball will go the other way. Possibly the best chance for Tokyo so far, but ultimately coming to nothing. Volta. Now Roberts takes the touch, trying to get past Eilish. Can't quite. And that one's pushed just over the bar by Reves once again. Apart from the goal, it's been a very solid performance from Reves. Has made some excellent saves. And yet Tokyo still finding themselves down. A strong challenge by Lee in the box. Required perfection and got it. 15 minutes to play. Tokyo still with a chance in this one. Tenochtitlan doing well, though, to keep them stymied so far. Have kept the ball more or less in the other end of the pitch. Greer over the top, trying to cross it, and it's Zlatan Ibrahimovic! Have they equalized? VAR looking at it. No, it's no goal. Tokyo do not equalize. The ball is offside. And it's such a close thing. It's Greer who's offside. And that would have been such a moment for Tokyo, who needed it in this match, but ultimately coming to nothing once again. Ramos hits it over the top to Greer, but Pinkman there too at first. Now Armaros sending it long up the flank, but Adamo able to stop it. Ekholm Gunnarsson through the middle to Ibrahimovic. Ibrahimovic can't get it past ball. Less than 10 to play. Tokyo seriously looking for that equalizer. They thought they'd had one, but couldn't quite stay onside. Time ticking down. Greer with the corner kick. Sends it near post. It's headed away again. Chambers gets onto the end of it. Now Denstro from distance, and that's lifted well over. And seems to be drying up. Perhaps one last move if they're quick, but Tokyo needing to get the ball up the pitch if they're to have that chance. But it won't matter as time has run out, and Tenochtitlan with a great victory, well earned, 1-0 on the strength of a Sam Volta score early in the match. A disappointing performance on the whole for Tokyo SC, but a very creditable win for Tenochtitlan. Certainly deserved winners here today. And it's Johnny Elliott who is your player of the match for Tenochtitlan, having recorded an assist and several dribbles. Volta, as said previously, doing the damage in the 5th minute that proved the difference today. And so Tenochtitlan walking out of the Nintendo 1-0 winners over Tokyo SC. Next up, it will be União Sao Paulo taking on AC Romana. And this will be a very important match for Sao Paulo. As we saw earlier, Reykjavik and Hollywood drawing 2-2 means that Sao Paulo could move 2 points clear of both teams if they can beat Romana. Romana, of course, tied for last in the league currently with Shanghai. Romana also a bit of a bogey team, notoriously for Sao Paulo, routinely messing up their title challenges. Sao Paulo might be a little relieved to have them off the calendar this early in the season compared to in the final weeks, but certainly no shortage of shenanigans to be had if previous form holds out. Mulder. Now Cotswold for Sao Paulo. At the end line, can't quite find a teammate, but the referee has given a penalty. It looked like it might have hit a hand. It's kind of hard to tell, but the penalty has been given. Rubio steps up to take the penalty, but it's saved. It's a save by Daedalus Cronus. The Romana goalkeeper coming up huge. Cotswold with the corner kick, and it's sent over by Nerve de Groot. Well, sent clear, headed down for Mulder again, but a diving challenge there. Nearly dispossessing, but instead Sao Paulo continued to come through. Hashimoto trying to get around Emerson. Finds Mulder. Cotswold in a lot of space, and you cannot give Roquefort Cotswold that much space. It is 1-0 to Sao Paulo, early on in this one, and a great strike from Cotswold, proving the difference here. Hashimoto trying to get around Emerson. Ultimately, Mulder able to find Cotswold by himself. And a sweetly struck effort gives Sao Paulo an early lead. Now Hashimoto intercepting that pass from Pedrillo on the run. Sao Paulo looking to make it a second, but couldn't quite find a teammate in the center. Trying again. Cotswold takes the shot again. This time it's over. Sao Paulo flying out of the gate. They know the opportunity that's been presented for them. Now will they continue to press that advantage? Ball falls to Nunez. But dispossessed, and now Sao Paulo come forward. Mulder through to Rubio, and Rubio sends it wide, but was offside anyway. Well, trying to find a diagonal pass to Rubio, but once again, Cronus first to it. Kirkpatrick. And now Hashimoto. Taking that touch again past Pedrillo. Floats in the cross, opposite post. And that header, not quite enough. It's Cotswold again. Very much one of Sao Paulo's star players. Puts in the cross to the opposite post. It's headed all the way back out to Hashimoto. And Peixoto takes a shot from range, and that one goes wide. Now Hashimoto with the corner kick. Headed clear, with Patrick first to it. Intercepted, though, by Min Jong. And now Romana might be on the break. That touch from Min Jong is heavy, though, and Kirkpatrick sending it back. Hashimoto. Now Cotswold. Through ball to De Groot, and that's a corner kick. It was Van Eindhoven, the last Romana defender to touch it. Ball goes far post and is ultimately headed out into touch. Hashimoto receiving a long pass switching play. Gagne finds Cotswold, and it's another save from Cronus. Some dynamic attacking on display from Sao Paulo, but Cronus has had an answer for just about everything so far, minus the goal. And that through ball will be a goal kick. Cannot find a teammate. Shuttle with a long ball forward. Hoppity forcing the ball out, but Sao Paulo retained possession through Gagne. Now Hashimoto making another run up that left wing. Low cross at the end line, and Rubio wins a corner. Cotswold will take the corner kick, sending it in. Kirkpatrick got ahead to it, but it's sent over. And now a deep throw for Sao Paulo. Gagne. Cotswold forward to Velstrazen Smith, and then back. Cotswold's shot blocked there. Cotswold will take the corner kick, finds De Groot on the edge of the area, but can't bring it in. And De Groot going down in the box. The referee has given a penalty. The ref going over to the monitor to check with VAR. It looked like De Groot lost the ball, was going after it, and then was brought down in the box. VAR will have the final say on this. And the penalty has been overturned. No foul. Well, that will certainly be a contentious decision among certain sects of the fan base of Sao Paulo, but that is the ruling from upstairs. And so it remains 1-0 after no penalty called. De Groot able to win that ball away from Nunez. Now Hashimoto making another run up the wing. Puts the cross in, far post. And that one's headed down by De Groot, but can't beat Cronus. Cotswold finding De Groot again. Cotswold takes the touch and Nostrazen Smith, the shot parried behind. Hashimoto with the corner. Ultimately, though, Van Eindhoven intercepting, and now Romana can come forward. Ball finds its way into the path of Santori. Gagne tracking back well, Santori passing it back. Van Eindhoven takes a shot on the turn. And Aguilera called into action for the first time today. It was a very good shot, very quick from Eindhoven, but Aguilera equal to it. That ball headed and loops into the air and into the hands of Cronus. Less than 5 before the half. Nunez losing out to De Groot, but Van Eindhoven there to recover. Some life perhaps from Romana as Kronkowski passes into the middle. Santori, end line, crosses, and the shot there from Emerson finds a deflection. And ultimately, Aguilera holds on to it. That was possibly the closest Romana have come to scoring today. Ball finds its way out to Kirkpatrick, who has a go, and a sliding save from Cronus forces another corner kick. Less than a minute of added time left before the half. Romana coming forward. Then Eindhoven through to Minjong. And it's Santori who had a lot of space, but the defense able to stop it. Now Nunez, though, takes the shot, but Aguilera stopping it. And now another chance before the half. Free kick. And that one skims the top of the net. And that will be halftime here in Sao Paulo. It is a 1-0 lead for Sao Paulo, who had dominated most of that match, but Romana able to get off a few good chances there toward the end of the first half. Is that a warning sign of things to come, or is that simply a blip, as Sao Paulo have had fairly obvious dominance throughout? But as I said previously, we do know that Romana do seem to turn up inexplicably against Sao Paulo. So I suppose time will tell. 45 minutes to determine how this match shakes out. Sao Paulo ahead 1-0 for the moment, though. It was a brilliant strike from Cotswold in acres of space that got us this scoreline. And now Hashimoto sends it out to Cotswold. Lifted forward. While jostled in the air, falls into Cronus' arms again. Sao Paulo still pressing the attack in their attacking third. Hashimoto brings it under control. Back to Mulder. Mulder squares it, and the shot from Cotswold. Very similar to how that first goal played out. This time ends up going over for a corner kick. Cotswold takes it, worked around to Mulder, and once again pushed behind. This time I believe it took a deflection from a Romana defender. Cotswold trying again from the corner, and that one headed over the bar. Remember, Hollywood and Reykjavik drew earlier, meaning that if Sao Paulo can get all 3 points here, they would go 2 points clear of their title challengers. While headed forward, Rubio brings it down, takes the shot, and Cronus, at full stretch, able to tip that behind. Cotswold corner, finds its way back out to the Groot. Now in the box, it's Velstrazen Smith has the shot, but blocked instantly. Kirkpatrick still with possession. Now de Groot again. Squares it, and Velstrazen Smith just could not get the finish. Was in exactly the right spot, but couldn't draw the foot back and strike it cleanly. Long ball finds its way to Sao Paulo once again. It's a 1-2 to Rubio. And it's another save from Cronus, who has been absolutely brilliant between the sticks today. And the shot from Rubio goes over. A bit of a nervy atmosphere here in Sao Paulo. They are still up and looking dominant. They perhaps would like an extra goal as Cronus takes another one away, and that one ruled offside regardless. There you see 32 shots for Sao Paulo so far, as we have 20 minutes to play. It's Hashimoto with a corner kick, and that one tipped behind again by Cronus. He's been under complete assault today, but has turned up looking very ready to perform. And perform he has. Long ball from Cronus, but it's headed back by Kirkpatrick, but de Groot can't bring it under control. And there I said 33 now for Sao Paulo compared to 6 for Romana. But it is a Romana corner kick as Nunez sends it in. Back out to Gronkowski. Pedrillo to Blackman. And Emmanuel Blackman has leveled it for Romana. As the curse of Rome reared its ugly head once again for Sao Paulo. It was worked very well. Absolutely nobody surrounding Blackman. And what a strike that was. And inexplicably, despite being on the short end of the stick for most of this match, Romana have leveled it in the late going. And that corner kick, this corner kick perhaps with a chance to pull them ahead. It's back to Nunez, who sends it over the bar. And Sao Paulo, despite having, by all accounts, more of the match, have been unable to put Romana away for good, and now it is all square with less than 15 minutes to play. Cotswold with through ball to Rubio, and that one Rubio offside. Rubio has not had a great showing today. So many missed chances, missed opportunities. Perhaps the theme of today's match for Sao Paulo, if they can't get another goal within the next 10 minutes. It's a through ball to Emerson, who gets that all wrong and was offside anyway. That corner pass, that long pass, nearly ending in disaster, but Emerson once again missing the frame of the goal. Hoppity had intercepted and sent it forward. Now Cotswold dribbling up the far flank. He grew into Velstrazen-Smith, and once again, Daedalus Cronus pushing the ball aside. 5 minutes to play before added time. Sao Paulo with another corner kick, lifted in, and that's headed. Well, it would have been a goal, but Cotswold ruled offside just before the strike happened. Santori through to Kronkowski to make it 2, but off the post for Kronkowski. How did he miss that? My goodness. What an incredible chance that just comes to nothing as the group fires once again right at Cronus. Absolutely amazing. And the final whistle goes here in Sao Paulo as União Sao Paulo missing a huge opportunity to put themselves a little bit of daylight ahead of their two closest title rivals. 1-1 the final score, and full credit has to go to the player of the match for Romana. That is, of course, the goalkeeper, Daedalus Cronus, with an absolutely ridiculous performance in goal. It has to be said. Absolutely rock solid. After Cotswold's opening goal for Sao Paulo was frankly unbeatable. Incredible saves by Cronus carried them just long enough for Blackman to nick the equalizer late on. And so 1-1 the final score, Sao Paulo missing a huge chance to move into sole first place. And that, of course, brings us to our final match of the day, which will see CF Catalonia taking on Schwarzwälder Fußballverein. Catalonia, of course, looking to try and improve their standing after historically not having the best go of it and seeming to be off to another rough season. Schwarzwälder, though, also uncharacteristically low down the table, finding themselves, as you see there, in 6th on just 14 points going into today's matches. The recent champion Schwarzwälder certainly will have been expected to have gotten off to a better start than this. But this is a good chance for them to make amends and try and get a little bit of momentum back. Meanwhile, for CF Catalonia, this might be as good a chance as any to nick a huge win over one of the bigger teams, one of the more recent champions of the SSL. Cross goes in. It falls to Ahmed, but it's ultimately sent out, and now Wang Jihao taking possession. And it's a corner kick for Schwarzwälder. Hakkinen. And Suzuki takes the shot, but it's ultimately rebuffed. Hakkinen tries again. Floated in. It falls to Whittington. And Schmidt with the putback. And both times saved and pushed behind. Schmidt and a diving header by Detrella Miedema trying to lunge for the ball. Didn't quite get it, but does not commit a foul. Hakkinen finding Suzuki, and Suzuki taking the shot, and it's 1-0 to Schwarzwälder. Well, it was a tricky free kick routine. Hakkinen, instead of shooting, sends it to Suzuki, who takes the touch and just fires it into goal. A great set-piece routine, and Schwarzwälder have the lead here. Will CF Catalonia be able to do anything about it? There's Cartista nicking the ball off of the Schwarzwälder player. And now they come forward again. Bonito losing out though. And now Forrest coming forward. Here's Schmidt. Squares to Suzuki, trying to pass for Hakkinen. It falls back to Jihao. The diving challenge from Detrella, and the referee points to the spot. It's a penalty. Detrella just couldn't get the challenge right, according to the ref. VAR looking at it. But the penalty has been overturned. Well, that is definitely a bit of a horse of a different color there. Detrella did, in fact, make the perfect challenge. Referee had given a penalty, but it did not count. And that ball has deflected in, courtesy of Trey Quartista. VAR looking at it for potential offside here. But the goal will stand, and CF Catalonia have leveled it. Ahmed taking that ball around, had the shot from the edge of the area. It deflected off of Quartista, who will get credit for the goal, but Ahmed doing most of the heavy lifting there. In any case, it is 1-1, and Camp de la Industria absolutely rocking. Of course, coming forward though. Bierman sends it back. Schmidt nearly losing out, and does lose out, in fact, to Nelson. Quartista coming forward again. Loses out. The challenge from Maxwell sends it away, but the penalty given here at the other end. Referee will look at it. SFE did have a penalty chalked off earlier. Referee looking at the monitor. Now has the verdict. And no penalty. Once again, the penalty overturned after VAR. Free kick for Forrest, sent in by Hakkinen. Jihao trying to pass it back to Muller there, but intercepted well. And now Kamenova on the run for Catalonia. Well, one away, and now Forrest once again on the attack. Bierman. Pass intercepted again. Well by Trey Quartista, but that one placed poorly. And now Suzuki with another chance, and makes no mistake. Suzuki's second is Schwarzwälder's second. And the German outfit in the lead. The pass from Fry, aiming for Ahmed, but hits it far enough behind him to clatter off of Ahmed. And ultimately, Forrest able to win possession back and work it quickly into the box. Luiz taking that free kick. It is parried over. Williams able to stop that one from going in. Fry lifts the cross in, and that one held by Williams. Whittington sending it back. That pass, though, intended for Faradiem, but Fry's gotten in front of it, and Fry just can't capitalize. That one's sent just wide. Well, El Segador is looking very much up for it, but do find themselves still trailing as SFB coming forward again. Louise able to clear that. And now a bit of a break, but broken up as Cortista tripped up, can't hold the ball. Louise poking the ball away from Shihao. Now here's Whittington. Whittington sends the cross in, and it's off the frame of the goal. I'm not sure who that was. I think it might have been Hakkinen who heads it off of the crossbar, very nearly making it 3-1. SFB still with it, Schmidt, but Schmidt is offside. Time winding down in this first half. Finkeltoes with the goal kick. Bonito losing out there to Schmidt, and now SFB once again with possession in Catalonia's half. Deanne. Kamenova, though, deftly nicking the ball away from Deanne, but that pass not on the mark, and Schmidt passing it back. It looked like Hakkinen hits it off the post again. Another near miss for SFV. Now it's a through ball. Ahmed might have leveled it, but also might be offside. VAR looking at it. And this one will stand. Well, it was Louise on the free kick. The instant pass from Bamford forward to Ahmed. And Ahmed indeed right in line with the back line of SFB. And so just before the half, Catalonia with another equalizer to make it 2-2 after the first 45. Schwarzwalder had gotten themselves into the lead twice, both times on great strikes from Mei Suzuki. But Catalonia have hung in there and fought back and are now level with SFV going into the break. SFV perhaps having had the better quality chances. But certainly Catalonia showing incredible spirit to fight back and get back in this match after going down twice. Cal Varnson in for Trey Quartista as we begin the second half. Catalonia turning to their substitutes bench to see if they can change this match. It's worked for them several times in the past. We have to see if it bears fruit today. That free kick from Hakkinen deflects off the wall and behind for a corner kick. Corner kick ultimately coming to nothing, at least for the moment. Hakkinen rushing in with a great strike, but it's over the bar. Passed around to Kamenova. Ultimately rebuffed, but Petrella brings it forward again. Kamenova forced into the corner. Now Fry trying to take a touch around Muller, but Muller able to get to it. But the referee giving a penalty, saying that a player was down. I'm not sure if that was for the Muller challenge, but they are looking over a penalty, and the penalty is confirmed. And this could be a huge moment in this match. It is Miedema to take with a lot of pressure and puts it past Williams. Carolyn Miedema absolutely blowing the roof off of the Camp de la Industria as Catalonia lead SFV 3-2 in the second half. A well-taken penalty. Williams guesses right, but can't get over in time. And now how will SFV respond to this? Hakkinen rushing forward, Muller taking the shot from range, but that skims over the bar. Long ball again. Falling to Schenkinger ultimately. Williams with the long shot. Louise nearly losing out there to Suzuki, but able to hold on to it. Bonito gets it around Bierman. Back into the near wing. Puts the cross in. Headed into the air. Diane can't quite bring it under control, but ultimately shot wide, and that will be a goal kick. It's been a great performance by El Segadores as they find themselves in the lead with less than 30 to play. SFB still coming forward as Hakkinen trying to finish from close range, but once again off target. Hakkinen doing well to get into these threatening positions, but ultimately cannot make anything of it. It's a corner kick for Bernardo Frei, who finds Stevarsson. And headed away. And now potential break here for SFB as they get numbers forward. And here comes Suzuki. Chased by a lot of players. The shot saved by Twinkletoes. 10 minutes to play as Catalonia continue to hold on to their lead. Some gentle passing among the back line. Potentially dangerous with Wang Jihao lurking there. That long pass ultimately ending up with SFB. Ball falls to Schmidt, but Louise getting over to block it just in time. Cross in from Jihao, ultimately held by Twinkletoes. Kamanova. Miedema. And ultimately, SFB winning it in their own box. Bit of a struggle for it. Ultimately falls to Suzuki. Forward to Hakkinen. Petrella matching them for every step. Puts the challenge in, but the referee gives a penalty. Well, Detrea put the foot in to stop Hakkinen. And the penalty has been given. Well, I'm not sure I agree with that. It looked clean from this angle, but it is a penalty. And Suzuki misses. Well, that is surprising. The penalty given, but Suzuki cannot put it away. How about that? And now Catalunya through ball. Miedema shoots. And that could be that. Have the Reapers come for Schwarzwalder's title chances. What a performance by Catalunya on the day. It's a through ball to Miedema, who's already scored, puts another one in the net. And an incredible victory, perhaps on the horizon for Catalunya, if they can continue to hold for the last 6 or 7 minutes. What a match this has been. No shortage of drama at either end. And now Catalunya with a 2-goal lead. And that shot wide by Schmidt. Suzuki bringing the ball forward. SFB once again on the break, drifts past the defense, but Twinkletoes able to hold on to it. Jihao. losing out to Bonito there. Ball sent long by Twinkle Toes. Catalonia with a 2-goal lead. They know they can't afford to get complacent now, especially not against a team like SFV that can score on you in an instant. Here's Deanne. It's through to Muller, and Muller offside. We are into added time here. Less than 2 minutes of added time to play. Catalonia up 2 goals. The victory is in their sights. They just have to hold on a little bit longer. It's been an incredible performance by both teams, but that pass isn't brought under control by Vitetrella, and Suzuki, finding some space, might have pulled one back. VAR once again called into action here, and it will not stand. And SFV's last lifeline in this match has just drifted away. And there you see Suzuki just barely offside, as was Wang Jihao. And that might put paid to any hopes for a comeback here in Barcelona. Trying one last move to try and get it into an attacking area. Hakkinen in space. It's ultimately sent clear. Still in possession are SFV. Whistling starting to echo through the stadium. But it's intercepted by Ahmed, who brings it forward. Miedema losing out to Schenkinger, but that hardly matters now. And that is the final whistle. Catalonia with an incredible 4-2 win over SFV. What a match that was. They went behind not once but twice, with Catalonia hanging tough, able to secure an equalizer just before halftime, and then winning it in the second half. Carolyn Miedema, the player of the match with a brace. Goals also by Trey Quartista and Nikolai Ahmed. Mei Suzuki with a brace of their own for SFV. Might have been the player of the match on any other day, but today belongs to CF Catalonia with a resounding 3 points at the expense of Schwarzwälder Fußballverein. What a match to end match day number 10 here in the Major League. Thank you for joining us so much. Before we go, just enough time to recap the results and take a quick look as how things stand. We, of course, just saw that 4-2 win for Catalonia over Schwarzwälder. Then, of course, earlier on, honors were even at Lake Valeran, with Reykjavik and Hollywood drawing 2-2, opening the door for Sao Paulo to potentially move ahead, but ultimately they also drew against Romana, 1-1 the score there. Buenos Aires with a 3-2 win over Shanghai, and Tokyo defeated by Tenochtitlan 1-0. And of course leaves Reykjavik, Sao Paulo, and Hollywood all level once again as they started the day on 22 points apiece. The chasing pack is Buenos Aires on 17 points, Tokyo on 15, and of course Schwarzwälder just behind all of them on 13 points. It is going to be an incredible finish to this match, to this season rather. We hope you'll join us for the rest of the title run, and thank you so much for watching today. Until next time, this has been Metafiction. Take care.